And there we go. We are live. So, hey everyone, this is Kevin the Apptrepreneur. Welcome to another live stream. I said we might be doing more live streams this week, and I think I'm kind of liking this idea. I kind of like, doing a video in the morning, like, a typical scheduled video, and then at night, because we don't have anywhere to go and I'm having a hard time sleeping anyway, might as well, do some live streams with people, catch up and share a story. However, as you all are aware, live streams are unpredictable. You don't always know where they're going. So for those of you who are watching this after the fact, we've just started the video, but let me explain how this works. Guess what? We are going to be doing this live stream, and that means we don't necessarily have a point. The video could go here, could go there. Who knows what's going to happen with the conversation? However, we do have a topic to discuss. So if you want the main topic at hand, it should be covered within the first 10 to 15 minutes of the video, and then afterwards the video, the topic goes in whatever direction the winds shall take it. So hello Rick Reviews, hello Mohammed, thank you folks for joining me. You were with me yesterday, so thank you very much. Anyway, we've got a little bit of a story about Amazon, because this Wall Street Journal article definitely caught my eye. And it was such a strange headline that it's like I realized I had to read this one very, very carefully. But the headline was that Amazon to halt third-party delivery service that competes with UPS and FedEx. And let me just readjust that a little bit. There we go. We're readjusted. So anyway, I thought that was an interesting headline, and I wasn't entirely sure what it meant. So I read this, and this is what this article says. Amazon.com will halt a delivery service for non-Amazon packages, according to people familiar with the matter, as it reevaluates the nascent offering that competes directly with FedEx Corporation and United Postal Services, not USPS, UPS. Amazon told shippers the service, known as Amazon Shipping, will be paused starting in June. It was available in just a handful of U.S. cities. Under the program, Amazon drivers would pick up packages from businesses and deliver them to consumers rather than ship orders from Amazon warehouses. Quote, "We understand this is a change to your business and we did not take this decision lightly," Amazon said in a note to shippers reviewed by the Wall Street Journal. "We will work with you over the next several weeks so there is little disruption to your business as possible." Amazon is suspending the service because it needs its people and capacity to handle a surge in its own customers' orders, according to a person familiar with the matter. The company said it wants to hire 100,000 warehouse workers, and is focusing on shipping essential items during the, pandemic right now. So that last paragraph is what's essential here. Because like I said, the way this works is that people would pick up packages from a business and then they would take them to the customer. So that's how it was working. And they're suspending that because they want to focus the business on their own company. Now, a lot of people at this point would say, well, of course they do. That's the whole point of this. Amazon is about themselves. Obviously they are. And this makes good business sense for them. And it does. But here's the problem. When Amazon starts getting into delivery and shipping, it's because they want to control the mail market. And they want to further drive people to Amazon businesses. So what they're doing is like, hey, we're going to create like a shipping company and a delivery company. It's going to compete with FedEx and the UPS. And we're going to people can use us instead of UPS and FedEx. It's probably cheaper, by the way, because why wouldn't it be? Everything Amazon does is cheaper. But then when there's like a crisis and they need their people to focus on Amazon products, guess what? All those businesses, and the light just went off, that delivered packages and products through the Amazon delivery service, they're just plain out of luck right now. They're out of luck because Amazon said, nope, we need them for ourselves. We're going to cease distribution with you. Now then, some might say a couple things. First of all, this is an extraordinary time, which it is. And some might even say, well, the Amazon delivery business wasn't that big right now. It wasn't like it was out there for a lot of people to see. It was just in some select markets. So not a lot of people will be affected by this. But here's something to keep in mind. What if this thing that's currently going on right now happened in 2 years? Let's just say it happened in 2 years. It wasn't happening this year, it was happening in 2 years. At this point, the Amazon delivery service has got a lot of partners. A lot of businesses are depending on Amazon to deliver their packages. Heck, they might even be doing more so because guess what? Amazon's charging so little money compared to the competition that FedEx and the UPS can't compete with them. One of them might actually have gone out of business or they might have merged. You never know. So Amazon's one of the big dogs now, and they're controlling your package supply. Well then, here comes a pandemic. And Amazon has their retail, they have their stores, they have their delivery service, they have their online website. And other people are depending on Amazon to help run their business. Now Amazon comes along and they say, hey, right now it's all hands on deck. It's everyone for themselves. We need to ship our stuff. It takes priority over yours. So we are going to be ceasing our services with you. You have now put those businesses in a precarious situation where they can no longer sell their stuff because it can no longer be delivered. And if people can't get that stuff delivered, guess where they're going to go? They're going to go to Amazon to buy the stuff. As you can see, Amazon has now used their clout and their control to shift the market in their favor during a pandemic. Again, it's scary because Amazon is one of the few companies that have not really been hurt by any of this. In fact, I'm looking at their stock now. It's over $2,000 a share. Again, what's it look like in the last month? I'm curious. Yeah, the last month, I mean, it took a little bit of a hit. It got down to $1,600, but it's back up to $2,000, over $2,000 really. And yeah, so this is, of course, not good. This is, of course, not good. It actually shows like a real taste of what Amazon will do when there is a pandemic and there is a crisis and they realize that, hey, we have an opportunity here. If we shut off our help with these companies, that puts them in a bad position and we will reap the rewards. That's what happens. And they did this for a service that was relatively small. It was relatively small, but they're doing it anyway. What happened if that was on a global scale? If this was a global scale, so many businesses would be hurt by this. This is why you don't want Amazon's tentacles into everything. You don't. But the thing is, good luck convincing people. For a lot of people, this is not a big issue. In fact, even though this was a small test, they're going to call those stores like, hey, we want to get this item delivered. They're going to tell those people our delivery service will not deliver because Amazon cut the service. So they're like, oh, I could buy from Amazon. So there you go. That is one of the big dangers of Amazon. And now there's rumors that they want to buy AMC theaters. It's like, oh yeah, that's going to make me feel good. A movie studio owning a theater chain and basically forcing all of the competitors' movies off the screens or give them like the terrible screens while Amazon's movies get like the big screens, whether they need that big screen or not. This is bothering me like crazy. There we go. Sorry. So anyway, obviously not a fan of that. So I don't know. That's I mean, I can definitely tell my audience is not as interested in anti-Amazon videos because a lot of people use Amazon, but pay attention to them, folks. They will screw up your life worse than Uber if you let them. But anyway, that's where I'm going to leave the topic. So less than 10 minutes. Less than 10 minutes for those of you who are watching this in the future. Now then, for the present day, I don't know how long this is going to go, but we are now going to turn the questions and the conversation on to the people in this chat room. So I'm going to go back up. We're going to read some of the messages. I'm going to answer them. There might be a little bit of a delay, but hey, I've got the water. I've got all that jazz. So let's scroll up. We've got Casey. We've got George. We've got Go Donnie. And we've got Romeo in here. who says, man, I text Peterson to check up with him, but he didn't text back. Peterson is going through physical therapy right now, also and he's having a hard time texting, I believe, because of the stroke. So, he probably won't be able to text you back. I don't know, but if you have his number and you happen to be friends with him, I'm sure he would not mind a call. So we have Mark here. Is anybody focusing? LOL. I'm looking at the comments. Kevin is a nice guy. Just cracks me up. Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that. Joey says FBA is indefinitely set to only essential items. 50% plus small biz on Amazon might close this year. Yeah, there's a lot of third-party sellers on Amazon that are getting cream right now because, and this is why I would never recommend people do Fulfilled by Amazon, because you are at their mercy whether they send the stuff up. Now, look, again, no one could have foreseen a pandemic. Nobody could have foreseen what has happened. But Amazon said, hey, we only have to ship essential items. Like we can't be shipping used books and stuff right now. It's not that important. So those third-party sellers, like they're not going to get their stuff shipped. I don't even know if that stuff is even listed at the moment, because if it's fulfilled by Amazon, Amazon probably has a way to turn it off. And now you've essentially lost your store. Like if you're going to be on Amazon, sell yourself. Don't let Amazon take care of it. You've got to control that. So Joey also says, thumbs up the man. Well, hey, if you want a thumbs up, I definitely appreciate that. Mark says, how is Boris Johnson doing? Anyone know? I don't know who that is. MH8 says, won't thumbs up. Don't like Disney. Well, do you like Rocky, though? Do you like Rocky? If you like Rocky, give Rocky a thumbs up. So when Driver Steve says, why hasn't Amazon split the share many times over? AOL used to split their stocks every time it got close to 100. I don't know why, although I'm going to suspect it's because Jeff Bezos wants the company to be just out of reach to a lot of, because Jeff Bezos is the wealthiest man in the world right now, with his dividends and stuff. I think he's always buying Amazon stock. But by keeping it 2,000, he can definitely have that competitive edge to keep the controlling share of the stocks. I think that's what's going on, but I don't know for sure. Because, yeah, if they split, and what that means, by the way, folks, is when stocks split, for example, let's say the stock is $2,000 right now, and you have 10 shares. Then the stock splits. You now have 20 shares at $1,000 each. Now, how does that help you? Well, the stock could continue to go up, and who knows, the stock might get to $2,000 again. Now, you have 20 shares at $2,000, and then, hey, the stock could split again. That's one of the only reasons Apple stock is particularly valuable to have. They don't pay dividends. They don't believe in it. However, that stock has gotten up to $500 many times and has split many times. So I know people who started out with like 5 shares of this thing, and they have like almost 100 shares now, and it just keeps going up. So that's the advantage of a split. So there you go. He has a lot of energy too. Like, hey Ryan, I'm doing fine tonight. Me and the wife were streaming Servant on Apple TV Plus. We're on episode 4. It's interesting. When the show started, I thought it was going to be like a supernatural show, but it's looking like it's being more of a mystery. So who knows? Kali New says, sending love to Peterson. Hey, leave a comment on his channel. Send him the love. And remember, play his videos on repeat throughout the night. Turn off the volume. Get him some ad revenue so he can keep his phone on. Mark says, Chicago still on lockdown and the beaches. Yeah, it's going to be, I think, mid-May. That's when the lockdowns will start being lifted. Romeo says, okay, I might call one of these days. Yeah, I'm sure he'd be happy to hear from you. Mark says, are clothes and cops ready to arrest people? Wow, I think martial law might come, yeah. MH said, BS, people in the Trump administration saw the warning signs Trump chose to ignore. I am not getting into that one. I am so not getting into that one because it's way more complicated than that, but he was slow to react, I will say that. But anyway, don't like Rocky either. Oh well. Do you like Toy Story though? Do you like Woody? What do you like actually? Now, since okay. Joey says ICU still ventilated. I think. I don't think Peterson was ever ventilated. Oops, went too far. Callie says, did anyone find out if the Instacart strike was effective? Yeah, actually, the Instacart strike. Um, I was gonna make a video about this, but it was a little. I was late to it. But actually, the Instacart strike was um, actually effective for the most part. But here's from the Hill. Instacart promises to provide workers C virus health kits after strike. Grocery store service Instacart on Thursday announced plans to distribute healthy and safety kits to its shoppers after they walked off their jobs earlier this week. The company says it will provide each full-service shopper with a reusable face mask, hand sanitizer, and a thermometer. Instacart also launched a resource center with info about the C virus, the disease caused by the, well, C virus, if you will. Quote, we're singularly focused on the health and safety of our shopper community. Our teams have been working around the clock over the last few weeks to proactively secure personal protective equipment like hand sanitizer and face masks without taking away valuable resources from healthcare workers given inventory delays and global supply scarcity. So, the Gig Workers Collective, which is a labor activism group, said that this was a step in the right direction, but it is still a far cry from adequate. As they put it, where is it? Sorry, these. I accidentally. No wonder I accidentally pressed the link, so it clicked out of it. So because basically the people who are striking are not happy because they didn't get hazard pay. They think it should be guaranteed and that it's not worth the risk otherwise. But here's the thing. Instacart, unlike most gig companies, actually responds to the strikers. And that's why they stay ahead of the strikes, because people say, hey, we don't like the fact they're stealing our tips. And Instacart says, okay, it's not working. We're going back to the old way. They say, hey, we need hazard pay and face masks and hand sanitizer. They don't guarantee the hazard pay, but they say, hey, we're going to be giving out hand sanitizer and face masks. So Instacart at least knows how to respond to a strike. Hey, address their reasonable demands and move on with your life. That's their philosophy, it seems. And I have to say, it's probably a good one. So let's see here. People still going to the park in Chicago. Well, they should not be doing that. Kali says, apparently they're saying that Boris Johnson is receiving 75-25 on oxygen. Let's look at, that's right, Boris Johnson. So let's see here. Yeah, he remains in intensive care. I'm sorry to have to say. He's written a few books, it appears. The Dream of Rome, Friends, Voters, Countrymen, 72 Virgins, Lend Me Your Ears, and How I Got These for Yous, and Johnson's Life of London. Yeah. So yeah, he's I'm hoping he survives. He is 55 though. That's about the age that it really starts affecting you, unfortunately. Does anyone know if Uber has mailed the tax forms? I couldn't tell you personally. I let some Peterson run today. Well, I'm glad to hear that, Rick. I'm very glad to hear that. Just because I get snarky doesn't mean I don't. I don't want to suggest you don't like these chats. I'm just curious what you do like. That's all. Only person know is Uncle Sam. Best of luck for Peterson, but he has a lot of issues. He doesn't make sense. I'm aware of what some of the issues are. I am not at liberty to say what they are, but we all have issues when you get down to it. You're a Warner Brothers guy. Bugs Bunny forever. Okay, yeah, I like Bugs Bunny. I actually have those Looney Tune collections and Tom and Jerry, all those classic cartoons. I love them. Let's see here. Roy says about the Amazon person got fired. Yeah, he got fired. Has anything Strike or let's see here. See, strike organizer, news. Yeah, Bill de Blasio orders investigation. Uh, here's well, apparently the Amazon workers are planning to strike again, so I guess I've got tomorrow's video planned. What do you know? Ryan says, did you used to buy DVDs from Amazon a long time ago? Yeah, I did. I mean, of course, when I was younger, I would buy DVDs from Amazon. I bought a lot of things from Amazon when I was younger, and then I started realizing exactly what I was doing and stopped. And the funny thing about DVDs, books, video games, music, frankly, Amazon doesn't sell them that much cheaper than everyone else. In fact, they sell them for about the same amount of money. So, the few times that I have to buy a movie from Amazon, it's because it's like an exclusive to their store. And guess what? They mark up the price. So, like, if I want to buy Ready Player One in 3D, Amazon will sell it, sure, but they're charging $45 for it when most stores would have charged $30. So, there you go. Callie says still haven't received it. Griffith says I look like an ER nurse doing food deliveries, ski goggles, face shield, mask. That's a lot of people. So, Callie says Instacart hasn't provided any type of support for workers that are signing up to be frontline in a pandemic, but have to fight tooth and nail just to get a pitiful $4 bonus. I know, but well, they at least talk the talk. Darcy says Toy Story is great for kids, but I really like Shrek. Wish they would come out with more. Well, they someone's in the house. I've got this house party thing. That's how I'm communicating with a lot of friends and family. I like both. I think Toy Story and Shrek are very different. I don't even think there's any comparison between them, to be honest. Toy Story is also good for adults. I think it speaks, especially when it comes to 3 and 4. 4 more than 3. I actually think 3 is a little overrated. It speaks to the whole growing up and leaving childhood things behind. I think that's a very powerful message. But I do like Shrek a lot. I don't like Shrek the Third very much, but Shrek 1 and 2, I believe those are masterpieces. And I think Shrek Forever After is also pretty good too. And I've seen Shrek the Musical a few times on stage. I think that's a pretty good show, which I think you can stream on Netflix right now since we're all stuck in doors. So, yeah, I like Shrek quite a bit. I hear they're rebooting it, by the way. Callie says, I quit Instacart. Any news about workers striking with Shipt? I don't think they're going to strike with Shipt because Shipt is not Paramount. I don't know why I said Paramount. Target owned. Nathaniel, hey, one of my members. Thank you. Any of my members enjoy my toilet paper video this morning? Nathaniel says, Little Rock, Arkansas. Amazon said they just bought 80 Arkansas of land. This is not good for no, it's not. It's not good. If Amazon's moving in, you're in trouble. You should be. Yeah, and you can access your 1099 on the Uber website. I like South American pop. I like programming. Champetta. Okay. I like getting behind paywall. Interesting. Mark says, is it true you can't collect unemployment working full-time for Uber because they didn't pay into it? No, you can collect unemployment for Uber because of the stimulus package right now. But I don't entirely... I've not been following that as closely as I probably should have been, but like Dustin and Real Rideshare Stories, they have been. Check out their channels. Ryan says, have you heard that Warner Archive has re-released Tom and Jerry Golden Collection 1 on Blu-ray? I'm not sure if you have the original release from... I do have the original release. I would like to get the Blu-ray right now. Got to be careful how many discs I buy. It's like, I'm still going to buy a few, but money has dropped for us. I have lost some jobs. I've lost some work. And I don't say that to get pity party. We can pay our bills, thank goodness, with the money that is still coming in both from me and my wife, but it does not leave with as much discretionary income or play money, as we call it. So the disc buying will definitely be slowing down quite a bit for the near future anyway. They said it will create 10,000 jobs. Yeah, and it will destroy twice as many as well. Like baseball and hockey. Oh, good for you. So How do you see a pandemic affecting Disney's future releases? Well, not very much, to be honest. We'll see most of those releases in theaters. We'll just see them later. In fact, if anything, I think Disney, especially if Mulan is the hit that they think it's going to be, that and Black Widow, they will be craving a couple $1 billion films at that point. So I am a little surprised that Artemis Fowl is being dumped on Disney Plus. They've basically thrown their hands in the air and said we're not making money on that one. And they said more movies might come to Disney Plus because of scheduling logistics, but I don't think it's going to affect much. I think those movies will still make money. Joe is driving. My newest member says, if we get denied unemployment, do we still get the $600? You're gonna have to look up You're gonna have to look that up yourself, because I don't know. I'm sorry. I like Bontanabo. Bontabano? I don't know what that is. Ryan says, what would you rate Toy Story 4 out of 5? I know you were disappointed about it winning the Academy Award. Well, I'd give it 4 stars. It was still a very good movie, but Klaus and I Lost My Body were way, way better. And yeah, and you know, I also was pretty happy with like the final chapter of How to Train Your Dragon. So, I mean, I'm just tired of Disney winning that award. It's pretty much become like what's the best Disney animation of the year, and that's not why the award was created, but that's how it's run. In fact, if you let's see here, best animated feature. So if you really look at, how many at the movies that won the last, let's do 10-year. So we have Toy Story 4. That's one Disney movie. Then you have Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, not Disney. Coco, Pixar, so Disney. Zootopia, Inside Out, Big Hero 6 definitely did not deserve to win. You have Frozen. You have Brave. You have Rango, not Disney. You have Toy Story 3. You have Up. So that's actually probably more than, no, that's 10 years. So that's okay, but that's 11 awards. Sorry. So 9 out of the last 11 Best Animated Feature category awards went to Disney films. And look, I'm not going to say all of these are bad choices. Inside Out, I considered the best film of the year it came out, and Frozen was definitely very good. But here are some movies that did not win Best Animated Feature because Disney was competing. Kung Fu Panda 2, Puss in Boots, Chico and Rita, Frankenweenie, Paranorman, Ernest and Celestine, The Wind Rises, How to Train Your Dragon 2, Song of the Sea, The Tale of Princess Kaguya, Anomalisa, Boy in the World, When Marnie Was There, Kubo and the Two Strings, My Life as a Zucchini, The Red Turtle, The Breadwinner, Loving Vincent, Isle of Dogs, Mirai. I mean, I'm kind of waiting for, you look at those movies, it's like, hey, those are some dang good movies. What do you mean they didn't win? Because Disney was competing, and the voters typically will vote for Disney. So, like traveling. I think a lot of people like traveling. Ryan says, I did enjoy the toilet paper video. I love being one of your members. I'm glad to hear that. Thank you. See you later, Todd. So, do you drink alcohol during the quarantine? Nope. I've actually been drinking a lot of water. Drinking a lot of water. That's what I'm drinking. A lot of. So, Driver C says, California EDD and Uber Lyft have been going back and forth over how us drivers should be classified. Until they reach an agreement, good luck with collecting any EDD money. And I kind of expected that to happen, by the way, because the EDD is getting so many claims. I think they have to start cutting corners. So, Joey says, be careful with your money, especially if you're unemployed and had a bar or restaurant. I don't have a bar or restaurant job. I have not had one for years. Montalbano is an Italian show about a detective. Oh, wait, I have heard of that. That's right. Joe's driving. Even though like Monsters Inc. isn't Disney, how did you like Monsters Inc.? I did like Monsters Inc. Interestingly, Monsters Inc. was one of the first movies nominated for the Best Animated Feature Oscar and did not win. Shrek won. That was considered like a huge upset, and ever since then, um, Disney's just has been paid back way more than they were. So yeah, like when you come to studios, there have been Disney, when you combine them with Pixar, they have won 13 times. And if you throw in Spirited Away, which was distributed by Disney at the time, they've won 14 times. How many awards have been given out for this thing? Let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So this award has been given out like 19 times. And Disney's won 13 of them. 14 if you count Spirited Away because they were distributing it at the time. That is way more than overkill for one studio. All right. Disney equals dumb America. I don't believe that. I like Disney movies. I just dislike some of the company practices. Manuel says, what do you think of Amazon renting new theater releases? I have no opinion of it. Honestly, a lot of studios do it. Sometimes if they want to get awards recognition, but they can't find a distributor, they'll rent a couple theaters in New York and LA for a couple weeks so that they can qualify for the Academy Awards, and they basically write it off as a loss. How do you like the married life, and does she still like you? So far, she seems to still like me. She definitely seems to still like me, which is good. I'm still here, aren't I? Like, if she didn't like me, I'd probably wake up and... No, actually, I wouldn't wake up. She'd suffocate me while I was sleeping. She can't poison me because I make our food. I make our food, and I didn't even cook today. Today is one of the few days that I actually went out to eat because it's Taco Tuesday. So what I do on Taco Tuesday, I have this taco place that's near me that make great tacos, and they taste wonderful when you reheat them. So I buy like 12 of them now, heat them up throughout the week, and then I buy like two liter bottles of two Mexican Coke bottles, I should say. I don't really need them. In fact, they're kind of starting to build up, to be honest, because I'm not drinking them that much. But I do that just to kind of help them out because they're a local business and they're definitely getting hurt by this. So, do you still look like her? I don't know if I ever looked like her, but I still like her. You haven't gone to your new... Manuel says you haven't gone to your new job at all. What? Are you talking to me or someone? Are you talking to me or someone else? What would you say is the least deserving Academy Award winner for animated films so far? That is very, very easy. Movie that deserved the award the least, Big Hero 6. And it's not just because... I mean, and here's the thing. I still like that movie, for the record. I still like that movie. But Big Hero 6 did not deserve to even be nominated for that award. It wasn't that good. It was cute, but it was nowhere near an Academy Award worthy film. Movies that were nominated that year alone that did not win, obviously, were The Box Trolls, How to Train Your Dragon 2, Song of the Sea, The Tale of Princess Kaguya. One of the movies that was not nominated that year that could have potentially won was the Lego Movie. So Big Hero 6 being nominated was a weak nomination at best. And then it won, and it's like, no. And I think that's when that was around the time where I started realizing that there was a serious bias in this award. Because the last time Disney had lost this award was in 2011 when Rango won, which was a good choice. But Disney did not have a film in competition that year. The nominees were A Cat in Paris, Chico and Rita, Kung Fu Panda 2, and Puss in Boots. Disney's two films were Winnie the Pooh, which I enjoyed, and Cars 2, which I did not enjoy. Neither were worthy of Academy Award nominations, and but then the next year, Brave won best animated feature, and it's like, was Brave better than Frankenweenie? Was it better than Paranorman? Was it better than The Pirates in an adventure with scientists? It's about the same. Was it better than Wreck-It Ralph? So that Brave and Big Hero 6 are definitely two very, very mediocre films that won this award. And so I think it spoke volumes that the last time Disney, well, I take that back. I mean, because Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse won last year, and that was up against Incredibles 2 and Ralph Breaks the Internet. But before that, the only time Disney had lost was when they weren't even in the competition. And before that, the last time they had lost was 2006 when their movie that they were that was nominated was Cars. Cars was not going to win. Now, I don't think Happy Feet should have won either. I think it should have been Monster House, but there you go. So, all right, you meant like that's what I thought. Yep. All right, Mark says, who are Seth's top 3 male actors you really like? My top 3 favorite male actors. Tom Hanks, Denzel Washington, I've never really thought about the third one before that much. I really haven't. But I would probably say Robin Williams. Manuel says, I'm glad you didn't leave YouTube for good. You said you were... Yeah, I was thinking about it, but I took a couple weeks break. Actually, after a few days, I was missing it, but I was like, no, I really just need a break. I mean, I was making videos during my honeymoon. Like, that's just... I mean, people say, like, it's not hard to make videos, and sometimes it's not, but it's like the fact that you're, like, constantly feeling like you have to put out videos and stuff, that eventually will get to you after a while. So make sure to take breaks. Who are your top 3 female actresses you like? Amy Adams, Meryl Streep, and I'm going to say... I think I'm going to say Penelope Cruz. Yeah. Bob says, who's your favorite YouTuber? I don't really have a favorite YouTuber, but I have a few that I enjoy watching. I enjoy watching The Mysterious Mr. Enter. I like watching the John Campy Show. I like watching Lauren Chen. I like watching Tim Pool. Who else? I like Film Ocean Society. I love Musical Hell. What are some others that I enjoy watching? I do enjoy watching Matt Jarbo, even though he definitely has some issues. I like Review Tech USA. I like Rob Plays and his friend Ivy. She has her own channel. Adam the Woo, who I also happen to be an acquaintance of. So those are some of the YouTubers that I watch for entertainment. Outside of the UberTuber community, obviously. Ryan says, Ralph Breaks the Internet didn't deserve to be nominated, but thankfully it didn't win. It's interesting also because Ralph Breaks the Internet is the only Disney animated classic movie that I don't actually own. Because I've not been very well motivated to buy it. I just haven't been. So, yeah. Have you spoken to Peterson? Yes, I have, and I've been giving updates. He's in physical therapy and speech therapy. He's there's not going to be a GoFundMe for the time being. He's getting the help he needs, but he does ask that people, before they go to bed, maybe play his videos all the way through with the sound off, of course, so that he can get some ad revenue from that. Mark says, I think I would go with Denzel Washington, John Travolta, and Kevin Costner. Now, it's interesting. Both those choices are very interesting. I actually, believe it or not, I don't think Kevin Costner is a very good actor, to be perfectly frank. I don't think he's very good. I think he can be good. I think the two roles he was definitely born to play were Field of Dreams and Dances with Wolves. Those were clearly his best movies. And those were the ones that he acted the best in. But other movies he's in that are good are usually good despite him. So I'm sorry, I'm not a big fan of Kevin Costner. Now, John Travolta I do like, but John Travolta can be really wacky. He can do some really high quality good stuff, and then he can be so goofy and cartoony in other movies. Like he's um he's definitely the definition of someone who's all over the place. But I do believe he is a good actor. Do you know anyone that has the virus? Yes, I know two people who have the virus right now, and their kids have the virus. So it's real. I know people who have it, and it's not fun. From what they've told me, it's not fun to have. Mark Wallace says Julia Robert, Meryl Streep, and Renee Zellweger. I do like Renee Zellweger quite a bit. I like her quite a bit. MH8 says Disney equals garbage. Well, you're not going to get me to agree to that. I'm sorry. You're just not. The New York Times article I read about the virus said the EDD for drivers shared that the rideshare companies have elected not to report income earnings to the state. I found that very interesting. Can you please send me that article? I'd like to read that article because that is very interesting. You didn't like The Bodyguard? No, actually. Now that I think about it, I didn't like The Bodyguard. I liked the soundtrack to The Bodyguard, but I actually didn't think The Bodyguard was that good. I'm sorry. I know a lot of people love it, but I didn't care that much for it. But that's fine. You know, if you liked it, I know a lot of people who liked The Bodyguard. So, but hey, I had the soundtrack as a kid. Like I listened to that thing like crazy when I was a kid. I remember wanting to watch that movie for so many years. My parents wouldn't let me because it was rated R. Then I finally got to see it as an adult, and I remember being like, "Well, that wasn't quite what I thought it was going to be." So I don't know. Ryan says I also enjoy Rob Plays. He has done a lot of cool videos on really obscure Disney events. I agree. Robert X, Robert De Niro. I do love Robert De Niro. He is excellent, and hey, he turned his career around. Like he was doing some pretty poor movies for a while, but then it's like, oh, he does Everybody's Fine, and then he does Silver Linings Playbook, then The Irishman. It's like, welcome back, Mr. De Niro. Driver Steve says, so the EDD doesn't have a way to compare your stated income to what was reported. That's very interesting. So I won't. Manuel says, have been buying takeout to help local restaurants. Yeah, that's one way you can help the local restaurants get some takeout, or buy a gift card from them, and then you'll have some money when this is all over. Tube City, who I don't actually remember ever seeing you here, so welcome, by the way. Says, were you ever able to work things out with DoorDash so that you could deliver for them? You said your termination was BS, but you never followed up. Well, the first termination, I did get back on DoorDash, and then they terminated me again, and I was talking to them again, and one of the things was they wanted me to take down my YouTube channel to deliver for them again, and it was like, the YouTube channel wasn't even the success it was today. It was just something small, but it's like I had very strong issues with like, you don't get to tell me what I can and can't do with my time off, and there's no guarantee you're not going to deactivate me again. So I let it go. And frankly, I'm much happier without them. Dude, I would move to California and be your bodyguard for $200,000 a year. Cool. No, I don't need a bodyguard. Most people don't recognize me, and those who do typically are pretty nice to me, so there you go. Restaurant gift cards are a bad idea, but buy a gift card, restaurant as a business, what does that leave you? Nada. Well, yeah, but I don't think a lot of restaurants are going to go out of business. I mean, some of them will, but like, it's just a way. Look, of course it's a risk, but if you want to support the local businesses, that's one way you can do it. And heck, you could even give the gift cards as a gift to people. And then if they go out of business, well, okay, it was a gift. You weren't going to use it anyway. So that's, let's see here. Oh, sorry, I was my eyes was caught something. So okay, any last questions? We've been going for 45 minutes, so we can definitely wrap it up soon if you want, or we can go another 15 minutes, get to an hour. Driver Steve says, I heard that you can get away with having multiple accounts for some of these delivery companies, so it's not a big deal to get deactivated on one of your accounts. Yeah, that's true. Just get takeout. Well, yeah, and that's what I'm doing. Like again, I'm not eating out that much. We bought a lot of food and now we're eating it. We're not even eating that much of it, to be honest. Actually I've actually lost 3.5 pounds since being in quarantine. That's kind of nice, to be honest. But when I do go out, I'm buying a couple extra things that I normally wouldn't buy, but I'm doing just to kind of help them out. So Epic says talk for 5 more hours. Nope, not going to do it. Not tonight. I have to plan for that one. I have to mentally prepare myself to do a 5-hour live stream. And I don't even know if my wife will approve of it because she wants her hubby time. And if I woke up one day and said I'm going to live stream for 5 hours, she would probably look at me and go like, "You are nuts." That's not going to happen. So, Manuel says, do you think Amazon workers should unionize? I'm not a huge union fan. I think unions come with their own set of problems, but they exist for, I say, certain companies that, shall we say, don't play fair and constantly take advantage of their employees. And Amazon is one of the companies that a union is made for. So's Walmart, so's Disney, so's a lot of these companies. So yeah, I'd be okay with Amazon workers unionizing. Yeah, no, I don't expect anyone to give me $500 to stream for 5 hours. I don't. Are you going to see the World War II exhibit at the Walt Disney Family Museum? That should be opening soon. I don't know if it's going to be opening soon. That's the thing. Who knows when it's going to open? It'd be nice to, but I don't know if they're going to be open anytime soon. Like in fact, Walt Disney Family Museum. Let's go to the website. I don't even know if they're open right now. Museum closure notifications. So, we continue to closely monitor guidance from the public officials regarding the C virus, and based on government recommendations, the Walt Disney Family Museum remains temporarily closed. The safety and well-being of our community, staff, volunteers, and visitors is our top priority. We are continuing to send you and your families our best wishes during this time, said the executive director. We appreciate your ongoing support and thoughtfulness, and we look forward to seeing you at the museum. So, yeah, they're currently closed. I don't know if they're actually going to be open. Last time I went there, my tickets were free. What do the tickets for the Walt Disney Family Museum actually cost? Oh, it's not bad at all. It's $25 a person. That's yeah, that's not too bad actually. I mean, it's probably more expensive than most museums, but that's because it's got like a familiar face on it. So, hey, if anyone hasn't thumbs up, by the way, consider giving the video a thumbs up. So, Union will screw you, take your money, you get nothing. And Epic says, I hear you. Steve says, how should I send you the link to that article? Comment section. Comment section, it won't show up, but it'll show up in my spam folder, so I'll check the spam folder. You can also email me. My email address is below. Toopsy says, when is the next time you are doing a live stream? Is it on certain days so that we can know? I typically do it on Sundays, but we've been doing a lot more live streams during the week because I'm having a hard time sleeping and I'd be checking it around 8 or 9 o'clock the next few days because we'll probably be doing live streams most of the week, to be honest. It's just I've got time to do them now, so that's that. What is flame responsible? That means flame responsibly is kind of a joke. I assume you're going to dislike the video, and I assume you're going to give it a hateful comment. But hey, be responsible. Don't be a douche. Just disagree. Just disagree respectfully. That's kind of what it means. MAH said, I was an IC in the 1980s who got unionized, got nothing, paid them $35 a month. For what? Nothing? Yeah, well, but sometimes the unions can really help you though. Like when I worked at Disney, the union had negotiated like a call out system that involves points where if you had to call out sick, you called out sick and there was no penalization, you just got 3 points. And the way the point system works, if you were like full time, you had like 40 points you could get before termination. And there was a certain amount of points you get within a certain time period that, would trigger verbals and writtens and second writtens and things like that. What was also nice is because of the system, like if you called out sick, you could call out sick for up to 5 days on those 3 points. And if you even saw a doctor on the 5 days, the doctor could excuse you and the points could get waived. Those are things that you don't get when you don't have a union for the most part. So you need a union for things like that. So, there you go. Have you and your bride ever been to Chicago? I don't know about her. I have not been to Chicago. I would love to go to Chicago. I would love to go to the Roger Ebert Museum, or is there a museum? The Roger Ebert Film Center, something like that. I'd love to just go to there. Um, well, yeah, no, unions help if you're an employee, not an IC. So, um, Ronin is a free movie on YouTube right now with Robert De Niro. I Yeah, I know Ronin. I actually have it on. I have it on Blu-ray. Is it on for free on YouTube? Ronin. Let's Yeah, you're right. It's free. It is free. John Frankenheimer directed it. Yep. So yeah, YouTube is offering some free movies now. I'm surprised. So a- and if so, or if not, what is one of the favorite places you've been? I love Japan. I love Japan. I went to Tokyo and Kyoto and I fell in love with the place. I wanted to move there so badly. I actually wanted to live in Japan. It's like I will learn the language. I will assimilate with the culture as best I can. But I never ended up moving there because when I started looking into what it would take, one of the things you have to do is you can't own dual citizenship in Japan. It's a pride, it's a loyalty thing. So if you move to Japan, you'd have to give up your American citizenship. And as much as I love Japan, America is still home. So I kind of said, I think I'll just visit Japan every few years, and it's been a little while, unfortunately. And it sounds like it's going to be a little while before, but once it starts opening up again, and once they get past the Olympics, of course, then me and Katie fully intend to go to Japan for like a month or something. So I'm looking, but I'm looking forward to going back to Japan. Yeah, I know unions are a business, but they I've seen some companies really take advantage of workers, and the unions were what stopped that. But then, of course, you have like the teachers union, which I think has been nothing but detrimental to the education system. So I don't know. Las Vegas Thrift said, I heard there's a beach in Japan that has sand that looks like tiny stars. Oh, I think so too. Let's see here. Japan beach sand. Oh, it's called. Hold on. The Star Sand Beach of Hoshizuna no Hama. Uh, Hoshizuna no Hama is a small beach located on the northern tip of the remote Iramote Island in Okinawa Prefecture in Japan. Um, Hoshizuna no Hama means star and beach and is so named because the grains of sand found there are shaped like tiny stars. So let's. And my goodness, they are right. They are shaped like tiny, tiny stars. That is amazing. There it is. There it is. So that looks like a fun beach to go to. We might have to go to that beach next time we go. So, are you and Katie still not planning on going to Walt Disney World this year? No, we never. I mean, actually, to be honest, before this hit, we had planned to go next year in like late January. because my parents were going to be in Florida for a couple of weeks. So it's like, okay, we'll do it next year. But well, now, so yeah, we weren't going to do it this year anyway. But now, who knows? I'm pretty sure the parks will be open next year, and heck, they might even be cheaper now. One of the positive things about this whole thing is prices might actually go down because you can't expect people to pay certain prices at the moment when they've been out of work for like over a month. So, how can you give up American citizenship if you are born here? Doesn't that stay with you no matter what? No, apparently it doesn't. People renounce their American citizenship all the time. I'm sorry to say. So, but I would never want to renounce it. I do love America, flaws and all. And honestly, Japan has some flaws too. I mean, their work culture I've become increasingly critical of. So, um, unions fall down to union reps, and with USPS, the union reps are usually your coworkers. Yeah, yeah, so cool. Or dual citizenship, which might kick you in the butt as well. No, dual citizenship like doesn't real well unless with taxes. It can make taxes complicated, but it otherwise it usually doesn't hurt you. Are you getting unemployment? No, I don't believe I am getting unemployment because most of the work that I do is contract work, so it doesn't fall under unemployment. Um, is it true that Russia doesn't have sex? I don't know. I assume they do. They're repopulating. Hey, Salvi, how you doing? So, oh, is it true that Russia doesn't have the virus? I think they do. Hold on. Russia has 7,497 confirmed cases. So, that so they do have it. It's not some of these countries now that they kind of got a taste of Italy and America, they uh they definitely have were able to jump on it a lot faster. So, geez, over almost 13,000 people have died in America, but thankfully over 22,000 have recovered. So there you go. All right, let's hanging in there, Kevin. Hey, it's doing nice. I've been doing like nightly live streams for the most part. Joey says they do just late to the party. The virus has so many conspiracies. Well, yeah, I think there's like a lot of people who, um, frankly, just don't want to believe it. Who's really safe right now? Greenland. They only have had 11 confirmed cases in the entire country, and 10 of those people have recovered. There's only one active person with the virus. Greenland looks like they're going to get away with this pretty much unscathed. The only other country that has not reported any cases whatsoever is North Korea. I don't believe it for a second, by the way, but they haven't reported it. Yeah, even Alaska's getting hit with it. Not much. It's like but there's definitely it's definitely getting around there. So, um, do you miss Blockbuster? That's a good question, and it's a good one to end on actually. I miss the experience of Blockbuster. I mean, and it's kind of hard. I don't know how many of you actually went to Blockbuster as a kid, but it really was something special. Like, you went into this building, there were movies and video games as far as I can see, popcorn and candies, and you get to pick a movie or a game and you'd rent it. And you'd look at the box and you'd debate which one do I want to get now, which one do I want to rent later, and you'd watch it, and it was a wonderful experience, is what I would say. it's not very practical now. I will admit. I Streaming when it comes to renting is way more convenient. Like Blockbuster does not have a reason to exist anymore, and hence doesn't exist anymore. Um, but I have a lot of fond memories of Blockbuster. I'm kind of feeling that way about retail stores too. Like, I think like an entire generation of kids are getting screwed because there's no more Toys R Us. Because Toys R Us was like a toy palace. It was amazing as a kid. You go into Toys R Us and you there's like all these toys, and like your dad or your mom would say, "Well, go pick out a toy." And yeah, I loved getting Batman action figures. I miss and nowadays I don't even know how kids know um, what toys to even buy. Like, I guess it's all online, but when we went to Toys R Us, like you could sometimes play with the toys a little bit, and you can kind of get a feel for them, what you wanted, and it was a neat experience. And yeah, the record stores, I miss Dimple Records. I loved, especially the used record stores. You go in and like, sometimes you would like see like an artist and you'd buy like a CD, and then you'd go and you'd like get the whole discography. It was wonderful. Well, there had to have been a Toys R Us when you were a kid. Toys R Us just went out of business 2 years ago. It's not been that long, but these, yeah, I think these are experiences that a lot of people are going to miss, um, and speak fondly of. And I don't think online really, I don't think online really compares to it. It's a little disconnected from the world, if you will. So that's my thought. Oh, you're old. I see. Oh, all right. Well, so yeah, I miss those things, but it is true that in the case of Blockbuster and Hollywood Video, it wasn't practical anymore. Video on demand just completely caught up with that stuff. Now, I don't think streaming's going to kill movie theaters. I think movie theaters are still a much better experience than streaming for the most part. But I definitely understand why um, companies got away from the concept of people got away from like, hey, let's go to the store and rent a movie, when it's like you can rent the movie in your own house. Manuel says I miss Saturday morning cartoons, and yeah, that was another thing that I mean, the thing is, Saturday morning cartoons are also not necessary anymore. Like, you had 24-hour cable channels and you can stream whatever you want on demand. But again, there's an experience that's being missed where it's like, hey, there was one morning like that had cartoons, and you would wake up and you'd watch your cartoons, and then you'd get on with that throughout the rest of your day. So, yeah. Yeah, some of those experiences I miss. I do miss some of those experiences. And I agree that kids are more interested in electronics, and I actually think that that's becoming dangerous. I don't think kids should be playing with electronics that much. I really don't. Like, I actually look at like kids with like tablets in like the restaurants, and it's kind of scary, like how they just will not take their eyes off the tablet. And you take it away, and it's like they get upset, and they look like zombies, and it's like it concerns me a little bit. It really does concern me. I remember creating fantastical worlds in my head when I played with my action figures as a kid, and I don't think kids are doing that anymore for the most part. So it's also the difference between like I love the Lord of the Ring movies, but I remember reading The Hobbit as a kid, and I just created that vision in my head. And now everyone's just watching things. I mean, people should be reading a lot more right now. It's a great time to read books, but why read a book when you can stream a movie. So anyway, folks, that's where we're going to leave this live stream. Thank you for watching. Thank you for talking. Thank you for the thumbs up. For those of you who might be watching this after the fact and it's no longer live, I'd like to know what you think about any of these topics. You agree, disagree? What are your thoughts? I'd love to know. Comment below, like, favorite, share, subscribe, and as always, flame responsibly. Have a good one.